Hello, welcome to my channel. In this video, I am going to show you how to create pockets in CLO3D. Pocket is one of the essential elements when designing garments. In 2023, cargo pocket was the major fashion trend that appeared in many designers' collection. In this tutorial, I will show you how to create different style of pockets on the garments. So let's get it started. First, style. It's the most basic and commonly used on a lot of garments. Patch pocket. If you just started using CLO3D and don't know how to create pockets yet, here is how you can do it. I have uploaded a t-shirt on the avatar and ready to add pockets. Go to 2D window toolbar. Under polygon tool, select rectangle. Click any place in 2D window to bring out the create rectangle window. Enter width and height and click OK. Clo will generate the rectangle shape in both 2D and 3D window. Use transform pattern tool and right-click on the pocket pattern. Select clone as internal shape from the pop-up window. Then place the internal shape on the t-shirt according to your preference. Then use free sewing tool to connect the pocket to the t-shirt. Go to 3D window, right-click on the pocket pattern and choose superimpose over. Click simulate. And I have made a patch pocket. Pretty simple, right? There's another option you can do to create pockets in CLO3D. This time I will use internal rectangle tool to create the pocket shape on the t-shirt bodice. Then use transform pattern tool to select internal shape and right-click to choose clone as pattern. A new pocket piece will be generated. Use sewing tool to connect the pocket to the t-shirt and click simulate. And the pocket is done. Since I already have a pocket on the t-shirt, let me quickly mention another function in CLO3D called overseam line. When you add a graphic to the garment, if you want the pocket to have graphic and match exactly to the bodice. In the past, you have to import graphic onto the bodice and the pocket separately. Then adjusting the graphic placement on the pocket to make it match the bodice. With the new CLO3D updated version, there's a quick way to do it. First, use graphic tool to bring out the design to the t-shirt. Use transform graphic tool to select graphic and go to property editor. Turn on overseam line function. Go back to 2D window toolbar and click on set sublayer. Click on pocket pattern first, then click on the t-shirt bodice. This will let CLO3D know the pocket is on the top, and the t-shirt bodice is the underlayer. Back to 3D window, and there. I made a patch pocket t-shirt with matching graphic. Now you know how to make basic patch pocket. You can start creating variations. In the next example, I will add a box pleat and inverted box pleat to the patch pocket. I have uploaded a shirt on the avatar and added 2 chest patch pockets. On the right chest pocket, I am going to make inverted box pleat. First, create a center internal line within the pocket. Add additional internal line on each side from the center. This will be the width of the box pleat. Use edit pattern tool. Select 2 internal line, right-click and choose cut and sew. The pocket will split into 3 parts. Use edit pattern tool. Hold shift and click on all 4 cut lines. Right-click and choose offset pattern outline. Enter half of the pleat width in distance and click OK. Use trace tool to click on center pocket base lines and convert them to red internal lines. Go to 3D window and click on Fold Arrangement tool. Click each internal line from the center pocket and fold angle to 360 degrees. Also turn on Fold Rendering in Property Editor. Use Gizmo to move two side pockets piece in front of the center pocket. Click Simulate. Next, use free sewing to close top and bottom pleats on both sides. Click Simulate. And the inverted box pleat pocket is done. You can make the pleat opening smaller by sewing the pleats together. Add top stitching to give a finished look. On the other side of the pocket, I am making a regular box pleat. So repeat the same process. Except for the center pocket internal lines. I will adjust fold angles to 0. And use Gizmo to bring the center pocket in front of the two side pocket pieces. To add pocket flap, use internal lines to create a rectangle shape above the pocket. Use Transform Pattern tool, right-click on the internal shape and clone as pattern. Sew top of the flap to the front bodice. Increase thickness rendering in Property Editor and lower particle distance. Go up to curved side geometry to turn on double-sided. I am going to add a button closure as well. Go to 3D window and click on button. In 3D or 2D window, move the cursor to place you like the button to be and click once. Use the same way to add a button on pocket flap, then go back to 3D window toolbar to click Select Move Button. Right-click on Flap button and choose Convert to Buttonhole. You can rotate buttonhole angle in Property Editor. Then use Fasten Button tool from 3D window toolbar. Click button on the pocket, then drag the arrow to the buttonhole on flap and click Simulate. Clo will automatically fasten the button. Repeat the same to finish the pocket on the other side. And there, I have made two versions of pleat pocket. The next style I am going to demonstrate is cargo pocket. Here I have uploaded a winter coat on the avatar. And I am going to add two cargo pocket in the front. First step, I will create a rectangle just like how I made the patch pocket earlier. Then, I am going to add extension to the pocket pattern. Use Edit Pattern tool, hold Shift and click on 3 segment lines. Right-click and choose Offset Pattern Outline. In the pop-up window, choose Unfilled Corner and enter the distance amount. Click OK. Go to 2D window toolbar and select Trace tool. Click on the blue baseline and hit Enter or return to turn it into a red internal line. Right-click the pocket and strengthen the piece. Go to 3D window toolbar and click Fold Arrangement. Click on each internal line and fold it to 90 degrees. Also turn on the fold rendering in Property Editor, so you will get a clean fold angle. Then, use sewing tool to attach the pocket to the internal shape. Simulate and see if there's any issue. It looks pretty good. Once it's done, you can add a fold line on the sides of the cargo pockets. Create an internal line on the side extension of the pocket. Turn on Simulation, and click on the internal fold line. Go to Property Editor, and adjust fold angle to 360 degree. Once it's folded, use sewing tool to close the top part of extension. Repeat the same to finish the other side. The last thing to do is adding a pocket flap. I usually will made the flap as internal shape first, so I can see how it looks like with the pocket. Then right-click to clone as pattern. When you make actual garment, flap is finished with 2 layers of fabric. But in CLO3D, to make it easier and less issue during simulation, I will add the thickness rendering in Property Editor to the flap pattern. Then go up to curved side geometry and turn on double-sided. This will make it look like the flap is sewn with 2 layers of material. Once the pocket and flap are done, you can add top stitching to finish the look. If you are not familiar with how to use top stitching, please watch my previous tutorial clips. For the other side of the coat, I am going to show you another way you can do to make cargo pocket. First, I will create the internal shape of the pocket, then clone as pattern. Instead of adding extension, this time I am going to create a separate extension pattern piece. To measure the total length of the segment lines, you need to turn on Show Line Length in the 2D window toolbar. Hold Shift and click on all the segments lines you wanted to have extension. And you will see the number next to the cursor, which will be the total length of the lines you select. If you have a hard time seeing the number, you can move the cursor to the toolbar icon. Freeze the pocket pattern and use sewing tool to connect extensions to the pocket. Right-click on the piece and choose Superimpose Side. Click Simulate. If there's no issue, unfreeze the pocket and sew the other side of the extension to the internal shape. When you have more than one piece pattern, it might cause problem to use superimpose over. In this case, I will just select both pattern pieces and use Gizmo to bring them close to the jacket, then simulate. You can add piping to the edge of the pocket. Go to 3D window toolbar and click on Piping. Click on the segment line and move alone till the end of the line and double-click to finish. Right after CLO3D, generate the piping. You can go to Property Editor to select if you want the end tips of the piping to finish within the seam. For the side of the pocket, I am adding the internal lines to fold it and stitch close. Repeat the same process to add pocket flap. So these are the two different ways you can make cargo pockets. Using the same method, I can create a pouch pocket with zipper. First, create a pocket pattern and clone as internal shape. Then make a separate extension pattern. So one side of the extension to the pocket, then the other side the jacket bodice. Click Simulate. If there no problem, use internal line to create a section on the pocket extension pattern. Select both internal lines, right-click and choose Cut and Sew. Then use internal lines to create a cutout space to add zipper. When it's ready, go to 3D window toolbar and click Zipper. Click on one side of segment line to start and double-click to end. Repeat the same on the other side of segment line in the same direction. And there, I have made a zipper pouch pocket. The next style I am going to show you is shirred pocket. Using the same method to create the pocket shape and clone as pattern. Then on the pocket pattern, use add point split line to determine the sections on the pocket you want to add fullness. I made segments on top and bottom of the pocket. Go to 2D window toolbar and select fullness line. Click Start and End points on both segment lines to bring out the fullness window. Choose both direction. For this pocket, I want to add shirring to the bottom. So I will enter the amount in distance moved under /line length. Click OK. And the fullness will be added to the pocket. Use Trace tool to click baseline and delete them. Then use sewing tool to sew both sides of the pocket to the jacket first. Then sew the shirring part. Use Edit Pattern tool to select the shirring segment line. Go to Property Editor and turn on shirring. This will give you a nicer rendering look. You can also change the shirring height to your preference. Click Simulate and check if you need to adjust pocket pattern. Lower particle distance to get a better shirring effect. On top of the pocket edge, you can finish with binding. Select the binding from 3D window toolbar. Click on a start point on the segment line and double-click at the end to finish. Use the same way, I am going to make the other side of the pocket. And this pocket, I am adding shirring to the top. So I will enter the distance moved amount under fullness line length. Repeat the same process. And I have created two variations of shirring pocket. Moving on to the next style, welt pocket. I have added a pair of basic pants on the avatar. And I will create the welt pocket on the back of the pants. First step. Use rectangle tool. I am making a 5.5 inches by 0.5 inches rectangle for the welt. Use Transform Pattern tool. Right-click on rectangle and clone as internal shape. Move the internal rectangle to ID a spot on the back pant. Use the same width from welt pattern. Make a 6 inches long rectangle piece. This will be the top layer of the welt pocket. For the underlayer welt pocket, I will make a duplicate of the top layer pattern. Click top segment line, right-click and select offset pattern outline. In distance, enter the amount of welt height, which is 0.5 inches, and click OK. Now I have all the welt pocket patterns ready, I can start sewing them. Select internal rectangle, right-click and convert to whole. I am going to hide the avatar and t-shirt in 3D window, so it's easier to see when I sew the pocket. Use sewing tool, sew top layer pocket to the bottom of the welt. Go to 3D window, right-click on top layer pocket and select superimpose under. And the piece will be placed inside of the pants. Freeze the other two pattern pieces and click simulate. The top pocket layer fits great, and I can continue to sew the under layer. Unfreeze the pocket and sew the under layer pocket to the top welt. This time, because there's another layer inside the pants, so I have to use gizmo to rotate and move this piece to inside of the pants. Click simulate. Both layers are in the correct place. Then sew the top and under layer pocket together. The last step is connect welt to the pants. Use free sewing tool to sew the sides and bottom of the welt to the internal cut-out hole and leave top open. Simulate and make sure all the pieces are placed correctly. Don't forget to seal the underlayer pocket extension sides to the welt. Since I have symmetrical linked pattern on the pants, it's pretty easy to create welt pocket for the other side of pants. Select all the welt pocket patterns and right-click. Choose symmetric pattern with sewing. Clo will make the duplicate on the other side of the pants. Before click on simulate. Move the pocket pattern if they are overlapping with the pants. Click simulate. And the two welt pockets are done. The last style I am going to show you is slash pocket. I will demonstrate on the same pants that I just finished the welt pockets. First, I need to create a slash line in the front pant pattern. Usually the line starts around 1.5 inches from the side seam. And the line length is about 6.5 to 7 inches. Once the slash line is done, use internal polygon tool to create the pocket shape. Go to 2D window toolbar and select trace tool. I will trace top layer pocket first. Hold shift and click on all the top pocket segment lines. When all the segment lines are highlighted as yellow, right-click and choose trace as pattern. And there, I have made the top layer slash pocket. Repeat the same to produce the under layer slash pocket. On the under layer pocket, create an internal slash line. Right-click the slash line on the front pant pattern and choose cut. Delete the piece. Use sewing tool. Connect the pocket slash line to the front pant slash line. Then sew top edge of the slash pocket to the front pant waistline. And connect slash pocket side seam to the front pant side seam. Go to 3D window. Right-click on the top layer/pocket and choose Superimpose Under. Freeze under layer pocket pattern and click Simulate. It fits perfect, and I can continue to attach under layer to the pant. For the under layer/pocket, use sewing tool to connect the side and the bottom to the top layer pocket. Then sew the top edge of the pocket to the top layer pocket starting from the side toward the slash point. Same thing on the side seam. Attach to top layer pocket from slash point to the end of the pocket seam. Next, connect the top edge of the under layer pocket to the waistband. Last step, I need to sew the rest of the under layer/pocket side seam to the back pant side seam. Use free sewing tool to start from waist to slash point. This way you can easily see how long you need to sew on the back pant side seam. If you are new to CLO3D, you probably should add a stop point on the side seam, so you don't get confused when you are sewing them together. Rotate and move the under layer pocket to inside of the pants. Strengthen the piece and click Simulate. Adjust the pocket and make sure everything fits right on the pants. Go back to the under layer pocket and use Edit Pattern tool to right-click on the slash line. Select Cut and Sew. For the part that's showing outside, I will use self fabric. And the rest of the pocket and top layer pocket, I can switch to pocketing fabric. To make it easier, you can also just make the whole under layer pocket in self fabric without creating the slash line. Use the same method from the welt pocket to create slash pocket on the opposite side. Check if there's any sewing missing. Then click Simulate. And this is how you create slash pockets. I hope this will help you to create more different pocket styles for your design. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to click like and subscribe.